The following program may be a complete and utter disaster. Viewer discretion is advised.
Excellent point, Dad.
What is the good word, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Technically Speaking Live, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 Eastern Standard Time, also that, and 11 a.m. in our Queensland, Australia office. Shout out to Thunder Dan taking it from down under. That can be taken out of context. Taken completely out of context. Well, last week was a total and utter disaster. I had my sisters on the show. And as you all were here, you probably saw that they are two of the most technologically advanced humans on the planet. And let's be honest, they really were pretty well not helpful at all. But they did prove a lot of valuable points last week when they said what the average consumer looks for when they're looking for a phone. So long story short, if you watched the show last week, right before the turkey holiday, it proved that I was right, and that's all that matters. Pretty much completely. What's going on, Mr. Owu Aaron TSI? Welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome to the show. I have somebody that's in the green room right now. He has been drinking espresso since about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm sure is just going to be full of energy. It's he's number 16 in your programs, but number 1 in your hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring Stats back onto the show. Stats, welcome to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am currently drinking a coffee Baltic Porter from Nocterra Brewing up in beautiful Dublin, Ohio, here in Central.
So yeah, welcome back, my friend. You took yet again another vacation because that's all you seem to do is take vacations.
You're really going to hate me in 2.5 weeks.
No, I'm not. Because in 2.5 weeks, guess what? I'm also on vacation. Now, I'll still do the show, though. That's a difference between you and I. I'm here for all the listeners.
You also have the studio in your basement where you practically live because it's cooler down there.
Also true statement. I swear to God, I have spent, let's see, I am approaching 12 hours in this chair, probably. Something like that.
I would hate to be those cushions.
What cushions? Oh, I do have a cushion. I do have one little cushion. This was from my daughter. It's a poop emoji.
Oh.
And actually, if you can take a picture like this, if I could figure out how to do this to where it doesn't look bad, it looks like I'm the poop emoji head.
Well, I mean, anybody who knows you in real life.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So,
but good. Did you have a good turkey holiday?
I did. We it was a little weird, like the rest of 2020.
Yeah.
We ordered a lot of food from some local businesses. Most of the sides and everything like that. Got a great dessert that we have to figure out how to reverse engineer. It was called a ooey gooey pumpkin cake bar, and it was dynamite.
Not interested.
Dynamite. Anyway,
not interested. Pumpkin pie is stupid too, by the way.
My dad did the turkey and a cherry pie. We kept all of the sides warm on our outdoor grill.
Okay.
We kept the turkey warm on an electric hot plate, and we kept the cherry pie warm on the wood-fired stove in the garage. And then we all ate outside, socially distanced.
Nice.
So
that was awesome.
It was something, but yeah, I ate so much on Thanksgiving that I didn't even eat dinner because we had Thanksgiving at noon, and then around 5 or 6 o'clock, the sun was going down. I waddled my way into the living room with a mask because my parents were there, and then we sat down and watched your show from Wednesday night. So it was quite the turkey day. How was yours? What did y'all do?
We ordered from Bob Evans. So we straight
Nice.
up ordered from Bob Evans. I don't know if those. I don't think those are around everywhere. Now that I've said that, so Bob Evans is a local establishment here in Ohio. Bob Evans Farms is down in southern Ohio, like the very southern tip of Ohio. I don't know if they're everywhere. It's like a country-ish restaurant.
Yeah, like just good old down home American.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much
Farmer
down home.
food.
Yeah. So we ordered that. So turkey and we got the whole 9 yards. But I mean, it was all right. I got we got 2 pies. One's a pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie's awful. Like, just not a pumpkin pie person.
I'm usually good for one piece, but I need
not
on
good.
it either in some vanilla ice cream or some whipped cream or something.
No, like pumpkin pie is just not my thing. They did have an apple pie that I proceeded to eat half of. So,
There you go.
Yep. So, got to go to the comments.
Now, do you like your fruit pies like hot out of the oven, or do you like them warm or more of a room temperature?
So let me go ahead and just tell you this.
Okay.
You know how and what I look like and how I'm built. I don't give a rat's ass if that pie is cold. I'll still eat it.
Absolutely.
You're talking to the same dude that we could order hot pizza from like Tommy's, which again, probably the best pizza in the city. Amazing pizza. Great pizza. Order it, leave it out, but of course in the box overnight, and I would still eat it the next day. Not even microwave it. You can cold pizza is like my jam.
Do that with leftover pizza.
Okay, hang on a minute. Let's go to the comments really quick because one just popped in, and I'm gonna ask a lot of questions about what she just said.
I've heard about this.
Okay, we're gonna get into that in a second. Miss Kathleen Garrity, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you stopping by as always. Hopefully you are enjoying your vacation. Digital Slang, what up, my friend? Michael Pepper Tech Talk stumbled upon an app today called Peachy. It's a beautifying photo app. It's very ironic. I will have to check that out.
Yeah, you definitely need to download that.
Let's see. Chanel, you said they are not everywhere. That makes a lot of sense now. Kathleen says apple pie is the only way to go with slices of sharp cheddar cheese on the side. And then I don't know if K Peach was saying, so we can all assume who K Peach is. Can we just get that out of the way? We can all assume that that's someone that's also in my home at this point. So
yeah,
it's my wife, Katie.
Taking away from your Wi-Fi.
I don't know if she's saying gag and relaxed in what? It related to what Kathleen said, or gag to the point that I could eat pizza not really taken care of. My guess is it's probably in light of you. Yeah, I figured she would. I meant to comment towards the pizza. Yeah, I figured it was she's not saying something to Kathleen. It was more along the lines of that I'm the worst. Because I don't care. Look, I don't care. Exactly. Like here's my thing. Don't let her tell you anything about her little food conundrums. Like, we're not going to have that. We're not going to tell her little food conundrums. She's got some weird things too. So let's not get let's not get crazy up there, Peach.
Yeah,
you calm down up there and see what you're doing over here. But anyway, I would the sharp cheddar cheese on the side of apple pie, strong pass. And I just got a text message from the person who mentioned it.
I'd be willing to try it, if for nothing else. Then I've heard so many people from different parts of the country say that they love it. I just want to know what that flavor profile is like, because I know what sharp cheddar cheese tastes like. I know what good apple pie tastes like. I have no idea what they taste like together. So,
okay, so Kathleen, thank you very much. She sent me over apple pie with extra sharp cheddar cheese is the greatest of all fall desserts. No judgment until you've tried it. Real talk. I will this weekend order it online because I'm not going into a store. Order extra sharp cheddar and an apple pie, and then complain to you that I ate the whole thing, because what will end up happening is I'll eat the whole thing.
Can I come over in the driveway and try a piece of it?
You have in the driveway? Yeah, I'll put you out a piece.
Okay.
Like you're a homeless person. I'll leave it on the front porch for you. That's sharp cheddar and apple pie is okay, but not great. Oh, we're gonna have a conundrum. We're gonna have a fit in the chat. Can't have it. Story time, Larry says. I'll do you one better, Larry. Bert Kreischer had a special called Secret Time. Okay. I guess it had to be Secret Time. I'm not going to go too in depth with that because I could go sideways quickly.
This show truly would be a disaster.
Yeah. Secret Time. My wife eats chicken sandwiches with ketchup on it. Now, in fairness, she has gotten better about that. She is definitely not doing that anymore. Secret Time. She used to eat like Wendy's chicken sandwiches with straight up ketchup on it. Nothing else, just ketchup. So let's not take some food advice from a person who does that. I said what I said. She's going to come down here. She's going to lash me. She's going to straight lash me.
We're all here for it.
I don't even care. You don't even know. You ain't better than me. You ain't going to do this.
Well,
Don't even make me. I will. Just straight lash. This went sideways way more than I thought it was going to there for a second. I'm going to turn that down.
So I don't see Mr. Mayor in the chat yet tonight, but he and his dear beloved son Greg, I got introduced to a Northern Ohio delicacy, I guess you would call it, is cottage cheese and apple butter.
Okay,
together.
that's not okay. Real talk. That's not a Northern Ohio thing. That's an all of Ohio thing. My grandfather did that. I've done that.
I've tried it.
It's not bad.
I didn't hate it, but I'm not going to voluntarily put it on my plate again.
Toast and apple butter, I'll put it on my plate 10 times out of 10. There is no question about that at all. 10 times out of 10, I love apple butter.
Apple butter, agreed.
Apple butter
toast,
and toast.
apple butter.
Yeah.
I said cottage cheese.
I know what you said. Yeah, I know what you said.
Okay.
I know what you said. Right. Yeah, no, like I know that. All I'm just telling you is like, yeah, I don't have like cottage cheese regularly available all the time.
Right.
So like, yeah, that's a thing. Also, is it called Marmite? Marmot?
Yeah. I mean, that's one product that's out there that's really weird.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Vegemite is the other one.
Vegemite, that's another one. Marmite and Vegemite, I think those are things. Michael Pepper Tech Talk. I dip my chicken nuggets in ketchup and fries and barbecue sauce. Look, I'm with you, brother. I'm right there with you. That combination that you just described, totally acceptable. One in ketchup,
especially if you
chicken nuggets,
if you put some hot sauce,
chicken nuggets, You can't really go wrong with putting barbecue sauce and French fries together. Cannot go wrong. You don't put ketchup on a sandwich.
The only sandwich I would put ketchup on would be a hamburger.
Marmite is New Zealand and Australia. I don't understand the concept of that because when I see that and I have tried that, it is like eating feet. It's like feet. I don't get it. It's just not good. It's like eating feet. Blech. Anyway,
let's see what's in Marmite.
We're 14 minutes into a tech show talking about Marmite and feet.
It's okay.
It is what it is. All right, let's. We got 9 in the chat. Let's get crazy. Evidently, one of the technological experts that was on the show last week just texted me. I don't know how to comment. I can't help you.
Oh goodness.
So there's quite a few things that did come back. The MKBHD video, it literally premiered in the 7:00 hour. I watched it while I was getting ready for the show.
As did I.
I want to talk about that because it really has helped. It really, in my opinion, validates a lot of the things that I've done in the comparison videos that I've done the last several weeks. So I want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about how
50 of them.
Yeah. Shut up. I want to talk about how George Clooney sucks because he can use a Flowbee and still look freaking amazing.
Like George Clooney.
We'll talk about Michael Pepper. Don't go there. We'll get into that in a second. This happened on Zach's show. We'll do this. More Google Pixel speaker controversy. Samsung kills the Note line. Ajit Pai sucks. iPhone 0-click Wi-Fi and Salesforce continues to buy and own all the things. I want to talk about that and we will talk about how a hot dog is not a sandwich when I come back. Not a sandwich. A hot dog is a hot dog, not a sandwich.
Okay.
Just throw it out there. MKBHD in the 7 o'clock hour put a video out where he did, what was it, 32? 20?
20.
Is it really 20? I felt like it was a lot more.
I thought it was 20.
He did a massive photo comparison of 20 different smartphones, or however many it was, 20 different smartphones, and ultimately the winner was a phone that I would argue, I know I haven't used it. Nobody in this chat, and nobody in this chat has ever used it. I can almost promise you that, maybe with the exception of one. And I would argue that, well, hang on. I would argue that the majority of people didn't even know that they made a phone. Asus Zenfone 7.
I had heard of the phone, mostly because I hang out with you far too much. But no, I've never seen one, never laid hands on one, and damn sure didn't expect it to win a randomized, internet social media photography contest.
So the Asus Zenfone 7 actually won the MKBHD annual photo smartphone bracket thing that he does. So effectively what he did was take a whole bunch of phones, all take the same exact photo, looking for dynamic range. Like it was a really large production. He really does it up well. And there was a couple things that really stood out to me, and he talks a lot about why people do and view things a certain way. Thank you, Michael Pepper. 16 different phones. So here's the thing. The iPhone 12 Pro Max got demolished.
First round.
It wasn't even close. 95%. It was wasn't it? Wasn't that the one that got just demolished?
I don't think it was that one.
It may not have been that one, but it was.
I think the 12 Pro Max was like a 65-35 or a 70-30 or something.
Okay, one of them got demolished 95-5. Wasn't even close. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. The iPhone got crushed. It wasn't even close. Took the L in the first round again. The iPhone has never, in MKBHD's entire 3 or 4 years of him doing this, the iPhone has never gotten out of the first round. Never gotten out of the first round. And everybody argues why the iPhone is the greatest phone in the history of ever that takes photos.
Marketing.
No, hang on. Don't get me wrong. Look, the iPhone takes great photos, takes great video. Now, I bet you if he did a bracket style with video, the iPhone would come close to the top, if not on the top for sure. But a lot of the average consumers do not use their phones for videos the way that me, because you don't even use it for video the way I do.
No, not like you.
It's like you use point and shoot. So for you, the Pixel getting out of the first round, the Pixel 5 getting out of the first round was a big deal. Like that's a good, that means like it's legit there. So the Pixel 5 ended up losing to what was the eventual champion. So I guess take that as a grain of salt. The idea was the Pixel 5 lost to the winner.
Yeah, the only thing that, and again, this is kind of like the flea jumping on the dog's back, asking it to do something different than what a dog's going to do on any given day. I'm getting there. Hang on.
Jesus, what? Keep going.
Me trying to comment on MKBHD's methodology or the way he does things or something like that is laughable in the extreme. But the only thing I would have done different if I was doing this is he said at the very beginning of the video, they did not use tap to focus, and he said his reasoning behind that is that most people, when they're taking still photos, don't tap to focus. They literally just pull out their phone, let autofocus handle it, and snap the photo.
That's a true story.
Well, see, I would like to see his research or how he determined that, because I would say almost every single photo I take, I do tap to focus or move the camera sensor around to get the focus where I want it before I pull the trigger.
True story. I can tell you yesterday I took probably 25 photos. I bet you I took 25 photos yesterday. I bet you not even 50% I used tap to focus. And I use my phone a lot. Like tap to focus on certain ones, like portrait mode. No question, tap to focus every single time. Group shot with kids, I don't tap to focus at all. Not one single bit. And like, so for me, it's if I want to get an object, yes, tap to focus for sure. If I have a group of people where if I do a tap to focus and the white balance goes crazy, I don't want that. I want the whole shot, and therefore I would not tap to focus. So I actually agree with him statistically, because even I would say I'm 50-50 at best of tap to focus.
And that's probably just a difference of style. I mean, most of the photos I take, like you said, I don't do a lot of video. I don't do a lot of action still photography. I'm taking pictures of people that are standing still or of objects or things that I find interesting. So, just different use case.
Yeah. So I would say the big thing I have run into is it's 50-50 for tap to focus. So that thing didn't get me. But for me, it was the idea of like, just there's a lot of value in phones that are outside of names Samsung, Google, and Apple. Asus
100%
Zenfone,
agree.
like I remember a couple years ago, the Poco phone that no one had heard of won the freaking event. And phones can take great shots. Don't get me wrong. Now, does that mean that phone's going to take that shot, a great shot every single time? No, it's not. But for the average person, yeah, you probably could get away with the idea of using that phone, which is getting into the comparison videos that I've been doing. I've been doing a boatload of these comparison videos. Had another one come out today that really starts to take what he's talking about in his comparison video and put it into practical use to say, this is what you could expect out of these phones just using them. Literally open up the camera app, hit the video, hit record, and go.
Right.
Because that's exactly what I did. Now, yes, I did use tap to focus in some, and some I didn't, but because I did it on purpose. Because I noticed that I see a lot of people just take their phone out, double click, and go, with the phones. That is going to be taken out of context. Larry's going to grab
Larry
that.
the one who's creating?
Mm-hmm. Larry's going to probably take that. Yep.
Larry, I have a request for you. Since everybody has been posting their end of year Spotify all over social media this week, if you could get maybe a top 10, a top 20 of Scott's greatest sound bites for this year, and maybe throw up a little video on YouTube or something. It'll obviously be demonetized immediately, but if you could just do that for his adoring fans, that'd be great.
Dude, that is a massive ask.
Well, I'm sure he already has some of them.
He does have a few of them. He does. Chanel, am I an average user? No, I would actually say that I'm not an average user, which makes my 50% probably somebody's 80%.
Yeah, could be.
I mean, I would say, yeah, quite a few people are probably just pull the phone out. I know my mother's that way. Pull the phone out, take a picture, no tap to focus, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I've actually seen people like pull their phone out like it's not focused, and then let it focus. Yeah, and then let it focus and then do it, not even thinking about the tap to focus part. Yeah. Michael Pepper, it's a shame that there's no Huawei devices there. I agree. The Mate 30 Pro was a great phone for photos. The P40 Pro, the P line period is a great line, but it's a shame they can't have the Google apps. That's the single biggest downfall to why the line never took off. I've done the review on the P20 Pro. I loved it. It was a phenomenal device, but I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, so at the end of the day, like, this goes to show you that if you expand not having Apple, Samsung, and Google as like the primary three, you can get a lot of great phones that's going to give you a lot of great opportunities for photos and videos Plus, you have a whole slew of other things that these phones are going to give you, which is just, it's phenomenal.
Well, and because each of them are, obviously made by different countries or companies in
Also
different
that.
countries in different parts of the world, they're made for different types of consumers. They're made at different price points. So, again, if you want to step outside the big American three, yeah, you could literally find a phone at almost any price point that's going to suit what you want it to do. And
Yep.
then, like a lot of your other videos have come down to in the last couple of months, is what else can the phone do for you and your lifestyle? And which ecosystem do you like operating under?
That's really the big thing, is like, which ecosystem do you want to be in? Do you want to be an Android or iPhone? If you're a person who has to have AirDrop and you have to have iMessage, even though I really don't get the whole fascination with iMessage. I just don't.
Well, now that RCS is coming out for Android phones,
Like, yeah, for me, it's like, whatever. I mean, so I can send text messages on Wi-Fi now. Okay, cool. Like, whatever. I mean, I don't see the fascination, but that's just me. What else we got? I beat that one kind of dead.
it's fine.
Why is George Clooney so stupidly suave? He can use a Floby. If you were following my Twitter account, was it my Twitter account? Is that what it was?
Yes, it was on
Okay.
Twitter.
If you follow my Twitter account, I posted or retweeted something that talked about George Clooney has been cutting his hair at home for years, he says. So he tells this host that he has, obviously they're talking about COVID and things of that nature. The idea that he has been cutting his hair at home for years. It was no big deal for him to cut his hair at home, and then proceeded to tell her that he cuts his hair with a Floby because, quote unquote, his hair is like straw. What?
I mean, I got to agree with the first person who replied to you on Twitter saying that, when you've got George Clooney money and George Clooney genetics and, everything that comes along with that, yeah, you can cut your hair with a Floby and it's still going to look great. You and I, on the other hand, it'd probably look like we cut it with a weed whacker.
Look, I cut my own hair now. I've been cutting my own hair since March.
Not with a Floby.
Not with a Floby. I've been using, for the longest time, I used kitchen shears on this part right here. So I used kitchen shears. I literally line my hair up like this and then cut straight back. That's exactly how I've been cutting my hair. And this is a 1.5 on the sides. It's taken me a little while to get used to it, but I can probably knock out a haircut in 10 minutes. My wife has been helping a lot with the right on top, because I'll be like, cut a little bit off, and then be like, and make it completely different. And Michael Pepper said he shaved his head today. Of course, there's extremely cold temps now. Dude, your head has got to be frigid. So, yeah, that's a bold statement, sir. I could not cut my own hair when it comes to that. I've done this, and this is cold on the sides of my head at a 1.5. So more power to you. By the way, have you tried the new Google app, the Google Pay app?
Yeah, I downloaded it at your house a couple of weeks ago when we were watching one of the Buckeye games, and
Have you used it for any tap to pay for the bonuses?
Oh yeah, I almost exclusively use my phone, just because you're not touching any screens, you're not interacting with any pins or anything like that. So yeah, I love it.
Okay, I was just curious. Have you gotten any of the benefits back?
I haven't dove deep inside the app since I set it up. I know I got like a couple of dollars added to my Google Rewards account after doing 3 purchases in 2 days or something, but I haven't really looked any farther than that, just because I'm more focused on the rewards I get on my different credit cards.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense.
Linked into the app, but I'll check it out at some point.
I see you working. Okay, so I had to ask that question. I don't know why. We talked about the Floby. Let's come back to the data privacy thing. So Samsung is killing the Google. What? Samsung is killing the Note line. They are going to focus on 3 of the primary devices, not evidently 4 different flagships. They're going to focus on the S line. They're going to focus on the foldables, and they're going to focus on, what was the other one? I forget already. Oh, the Flip, the Fold, and then the S line.
Yeah.
So that means you're going to have, so we have the little, oh my God. Jesus H.
How many Samsungs do you have on your desk right now?
So this little guy right here, the
Yeah.
stylus, I have one. That will actually be, I don't know if they're going to be included in the Fold line or in the S line. They'll have support. They're finally getting away from it. I got to be honest. I don't really care. I don't really care that they're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great phone. It's served its purpose. They've now, the problem is they're competing with themselves. So Samsung has a problem. They're competing with themselves. That's the single biggest thing.
37 phones a year.
Yeah, this is not even their A line.
They expect people to be able to differentiate between them and then sell enough units to make the R&D worth it.
Right. That's the part that I don't necessarily understand. Is like, so they've got the A line, so that's their affordable line, the Flip, the Fold, the Note, and now the S line. So
It's
they have
their top range.
all of these different lines. That's just a tremendous amount of money wasted when they could take that money and figure out how to turn HDR off on their photos and videos because it's hot trash. Stop it. Stop turning the HDR up. When I want my red to be red, I want it to be red. I don't want it to be neon red. I don't want that. Stop it. Get some help. Also, by doing this, maybe they can take the price down of the Fold line from $2,000 to something more like $1,200.
Maybe,
by the way, go out and look and see how much you can get a Fold 2 right now. Go look. I'm telling you right now, you can probably get one for $1,300. If you go to Swappa, Michael Pepper, how long before they killed the S line, given the A line is using flagship level processors and cameras? And see, that's a great question because you have the Samsung S20 FE Fan Edition that everybody talks about being the Pixel 5 competitor, using better hardware than the Fold 2, which is twice the price.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting better hardware, same experience, half the price. Again, it's a Fold, so that's not necessarily a fair comparison. But the idea is they can hit that market. They can hit that market and steal quite a bit away from. Oh my God! I'm gonna kill that. Oh my God! Didn't make it three.
Who we getting after?
I told him. He's in the chat. I told him that. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the Samsung thing. They were trying to be a master of everything, and they were a master of none, in my opinion. And once they slim that thing down, they could make a $900 device that would arguably, that could hurt Google really bad. Really bad. Because the FE, I mean, it could do that. There's a lot of problems. If they can get their software under control, then Google's got a problem. Like OnePlus, you have a problem. If Samsung can get that right, where they could have a $1,400 flagship, a $700 mid-range, and then a $350 affordable A-line, that's going to sell a lot of units. A lot of units. Scott Shelton, Scotty Boombox. I left my iPhone 6S for the Pixel 4. I didn't make 3 days before jumping back. I missed so many iMessage, and now I cannot get texts from me. I'm going back to my pager. Yeah, I told him. I said I talked to him on the phone before you leave your iPhone. Turn off iMessage. Turn off iMessage. I said it. Turn off iMessage. Turn it off. There's this thing. It's a phone. You can dial numbers. And then when you dial the numbers, I pick it up and I go, hello? And I'm like, what's up, dog? How you doing?
Don't lie. You never pick up your phone.
I do pick up my phone. I do. And evidently you're not getting text message anyway because iPhones are stupid. And I have an iPhone, so I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to talk about...
It's probably an iPhone error trying to switch.
It is an iPhone. It is a known iPhone error. It is a known error. As a matter of fact, I have made a video on this very channel that talks about, do you have an iMessage problem? You may have this particular bug. If you go back and you look, stats, if you could be so kind. go
working
back
on it.
on the channel and look. Do you have the iMessage bug? Maybe drop that in the chat for some friends that may have recently switched from an iPhone to an Android. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Oh, Boombox, you're on the show next week. Hands down, bar none, on the show next week. We'll talk about it. I was seeing some of those photos that he was shooting, though. They were crispy. Super crispy. Super crispy. I'm so sad that you went back to an iPhone 6S. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about
Now
this.
I got to warn people in the chat.
It's a bad video.
You look dramatically different in this video than you do right now.
I look very
your
different. My hair is very
else.
different. I do not look nearly as clean shaven in that video.
Oh yeah.
I'm a mess in that video. And it's a terrible video. It's like, what's up, everybody? This is Scott, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. I bought and used the iPhone 12 Pro Max for a week before returning to my trusty Pixel 4 XL. I can only hope that Google goes back and makes a 6 XL flagship. So I can tell you the 4A 5G, which is, oh, it's in my pocket. Hang on.
I love the collared shirt.
Shut up.
You haven't made a video with a collared shirt in years.
I mean, it's been a minute.
This was the old fluffy feathered hairstyle too. It's great.
Dude, shut up. So this is the 4A 5G. If you're going from a 4 XL, so let me say this: the biggest thing that you have from a 4 XL to anything else, the single biggest thing is the battery life. That is the thing. The battery life on the 4 XL is so much less than any new Pixel, the 4A, the 4A 5G, or the Pixel 5. It's not even, I mean, we're not even close. We're talking about half a day, 3/4 of a day better in the 4A, the 4A 5G, and the Pixel 5. No question about that. So if you need better battery life, definitely recommend going to a new device for sure. However, the 4 XL, if you don't care about that, don't change. You may want to give the Pixel 5 a shot. I was surprised. I'm a big phone guy. I like big phones, and I cannot lie. It took me a while to get used to the size of the Pixel 5, but I love it now. I absolutely love the size of the Pixel 5 now. Retethered Tech, I had Android message. Oh, I'm assuming that you hate an Android message. Oh, I had an Android message bug, but I'm going from Pixel to iPhone. Dumb autocorrect iPhone keyboard. I use Google Keyboard on my iPhone, so for what it's worth. Love you too, Boombox. Love you too. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Got her channel today. I'm glad. Thank you for stopping by the channel. We love having you here. It's a great device. The 4A 5G is legit. It is a legit device. It has a headphone jack, which is even sweeter, especially when you're using an external microphone doing everything outside. So you don't necessarily have to use an external microphone because the microphones are so good nowadays in phones. But if you can, or if you have to, you have a headphone jack, which makes it even better, which is dope. Ajit Pai, the FCC chairman, is stepping down. He is the dude that wanted to kill net neutrality. Not a fan.
Goodbye, and good riddance.
Not a fan. Not a fan of the guy. I'm personally excited that he is stepping down. He oversaw the rollback of net neutrality rules and the merger of T-Mobile and Sprint. He also uses the most obtuse, stupid coffee cup in the history of the world, and I can't wait till he's gone. I'm dumbfounded some of the things that he rolled back in terms of net neutrality. He pushed us back so far in some of these instances. Now it doesn't all suck because he also helped a lot with the deployment of 5G across the United States. So that's going to help in the long run. But other than that, he sucks. just not a
Well, I
fan.
mean, he made no um, he had no qualms about saying he was for big business. He was for um, the internet providers, and he was not for the consumer.
No,
So
he wasn't.
that's what he was brought on board to do, good, bad, or otherwise. And to the extent that he could, he succeeded. But as individual consumers and payers for internet and net neutrality and not wanting to pay more for speed or content or things like that, I am also very much glad he will be leaving office in less than 50
Yep.
days. So.
Yep. Very excited about the fact that he will no longer be there. He rolled back a lot of stuff that they had done from a net neutrality perspective in 2015. He reversed the rules that were passed in 2015, got his wish, and rolled it back. Let's try to think. This is what he said. His actual delivery was brief, abrupt. This is from a Verge article in December of 17. The internet's the greatest free market innovation in history. It's changed the way we live, play, work, learn, and speak. During his time at the FCC, I've met with entrepreneurs who started businesses, doctors who helped create care for patients, yada yada yada. What's responsible? It certainly wasn't heavy-handed government regulation. Quite the contrary. At the dawn of the commercial internet, Clinton and Republican Congress agreed that it would be the policy of the United States to preserve the vibrant, competitive free market for the internet, unfettered by federal or state regulation. This actually ties in pretty well to, I think, one of the topics we have around data privacy.
Mm-hmm.
I think data privacy is a fundamental, basic right that everyone on the internet deserves, because there are folks on the internet that, much to the chagrin, and a lot of the time they don't even know they are on the internet and connected to individuals, even if they don't want that. And that's not their fault. These companies are using data aggregators to create different things. Perfect example. If you are a recent college graduate, if you Google your name and you lived at home and you have siblings, there is a very good chance that by a simple Google search on one of those data aggregators, like think of White Pages, think of Spokio, think of like data aggregators like that, they're going to have your name, your address, potentially your phone number, any of your siblings' information, your social media profiles, your parents' information, and probably a lot of previous addresses that you've lived at. And guess what? Those previous addresses sometimes actually serve as security to some of the questions that you answer on the internet to validate who you are.
Well, yeah.
Which means if you take that information and they get just a little more information about you, they can get a lot of information about you, including credit, social security numbers, and more.
Yeah. Going back to the FCC and net neutrality just a little bit, I fundamentally disagree with everything that Ajit Pai stood for, because I feel that, and I think the current pandemic and the work from home and the school from home has shown that access to the internet, especially high-speed internet, wherever possible, should be guaranteed, much like water and power and things like that. You pay a fair market rate, but you have access to it all. It's not like, I can't think of a good example right off the top of my head, but you're not going to get less power just because your neighbor pays more money than you do, which is kind of where Ajit Pai was trying to take the internet. If you want better internet, if you want access to all of your social medias, you have to pay even more money as opposed to
premium
just paying
internets. The premium
the standard money. So
yeah, I mean, you're seeing it now because there's kids that don't have the ability to get the internet to do the schoolwork. So what do? They go to school, sit outside with masks on just to get the internet that's just barely outside the schools. That's not acceptable. That's not
especially
acceptable.
in this part of the country this time of year. I mean, it was 28 degrees when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. So we have to do something about that. But I'm going to go from the data privacy perspective. we have to do something to protect the individuals when we talk about the data privacy. So if we open up the internets for everybody, which again, totally fine, we totally should. The new war is not going to be fought on a battlefield. The new war is going to be fought on the internet. You turn off the internet, you got problems. If you if you turn the internet off, countries will fall.
Some other countries do have the ability to do that to their citizens, and
that's a problem.
It very rarely goes well.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about catastrophic market economic impacts if you don't have any internet at all. That's a
right.
That very much seems very much a priority to me. That seems like something that we should probably make sure that we got that locked down.
Well,
more
and
often than not.
The distribution of who has control over the internet needs to lie outside of the government. It needs to be distributed amongst multiple service providers. So one particular provider can't just flip a switch whenever they want.
Comcast.
I was going to say when AWS goes down every other week, like it seems to the last couple of months, but
it has definitely gone down a few times in the last week.
It went down on Thursday as people were rolling into Black Friday.
Oh yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
No,
it
wasn't great.
I mean, we're putting a lot of pressure on these service providers that do not have. They were not prepared from an infrastructure perspective.
Yeah.
In the last 12 months. Yeah. They were not ready from and now I got to give them credit. They have been doing a heck of a job in the last 12 months to try to get their infrastructure given everything going on. Like without a doubt, I got to give them credit from that. But again, probably got to have that. I volunteer to control the internet. I bequeath you as a lord.
Yes. I would give it to Kathleen. Absolutely.
As a lord, I am bequeathing you, Miss Kathleen Garrity. You are the controller of all of the internets, not the internet, the internets.
All of
plural,
them.
all of them, all combined under your controllership.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your promotion. Don't screw it up.
And you get free apple pie and extra sharp cheddar cheese.
Boom.
As a salary.
Boom. And espresso. Lots of espresso, extra sharp cheddar, apple pie.
So Kathleen's day is now a quadruple shot in the morning, jump on her Peloton bike for 3 or 4 hours, and then eat nothing but apple pie and cheddar cheese for the rest of the day.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You think it'll get you help you get verified on Twitter? No, somehow Twitter will still screw that part up and you still won't be verified because Twitter verification is a disaster.
Jack doesn't like the internet anyway, so
So dumb. I can't even get into that guy. That guy kills me.
You want to get into hot dogs?
No, I'm going to talk about data. I want to talk about data and data privacy really quick, and then we're going to end the show on hot dogs as a sandwich because I have a feeling that's going to go for a minute. So I got to talk about Salesforce continues to buy places that give you guessed it, data.
Lord have
Salesforce
mercy.
bought Slack for like $22 billion.
27 billion.
Whatever. Who cares after $2 billion? Honestly, it's fake money at that point.
They
really also own
it's all
Tableau.
It's all on the internet.
Right. Exactly. Which is why the internet should never go down. Amazon. Salesforce continues to buy up companies that are powerhouses in data. Everybody talks about it. Data is the new oil. Look, that's the truth. You can do so much with data. There are so many different things that you can do with the power of data that no wonder companies are trying to desperately buy and acquire companies that are really good at automating data related to anything, data visualization, BI rationalization, you name it, anything data related. Companies are buying it up because they realize that if you hold the data, you hold a lot of power because you can effectively, you can monetize that data. So companies then come to you to buy data to do business for whatever you're looking at. Data is a very, very lucrative business to be in. And that's why Salesforce continues to buy things That's why they're doing it. It's
For
not a
lots
big
and lots of
shocker.
money.
So that goes back to my point. Data privacy. Data privacy is a big deal. If you need to fully understand what each company has on you, what they're doing with it, ask the questions, Google it. What does Apple do with my data? What does Google do with my data? It's a fair question to ask. Go out and Google it. Go out and search for it. Find out what they're using for that data. Some of the things related to net neutrality talked about internet service providers having access to your search history. That means they could start to serve you ads and things like that. Slack, Scotty Boombox, Slack and Salesforce together is like Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. This will not end well. You are 100% right. They will have so much. That is a lot of power. Like that is
Hey,
a
Scotty,
powerhouse couple.
You know
That is
how
a
I know
powerhouse
how old
couple.
you are?
Hey, shut up. Nothing wrong with
We're
Kurt
all
Cobain and
there.
Courtney Love. We're all right there, bro. Why you gotta hate on my man? I don't hate on him.
He knows I
It's
got
true
nothing but
though.
love
He's
for him.
right. Like they would have arguably one of the greatest platforms that's directly injected into every single business. Small businesses use Slack. It's cheaper that you can get so much stuff with Slack. Microsoft's making Teams. I prefer Teams. That's my personal opinion because I just like Teams, just the way it works for me. Supply and demand is benefited when you have the data. Yep. Provide a database of what your current customers and those going after what you want. Yeah, you're 100% right. If you can say, now I'm terrified because my military intelligence company uses Slack for work. Look, I'm going to tell you right now that if Slack goes to Salesforce, that information is then in Salesforce. And a lot of companies come to Salesforce to buy data. They use Salesforce for a lot of data. Salesforce is arguably becoming could become one of the number one data companies out there. We're talking like
I'd say as
Google
far as
we're talking about Google level
broker,
power.
yeah,
Google level power in this. Like this is a really big deal. Larry says that Salesforce buying Slack is like Oracle buying Java. Really big deal. Like don't go out and read about how this could be a huge thing. And Salesforce bought Tableau, one of the greatest data visualization tools that's out there.
Oh yeah,
big deal. Big deal.
I just got introduced to Tableau a couple of months ago within my company's organization, and it, with no training, it has allowed me to build and execute reports that in the past I needed professional level IT help to build reports within a business intelligence structure. And now I can go out there like a wild buffalo and just run rampant all over Tableau, and it's great.
I mean, Salesforce made $17.1 billion last year, or so far this year. And they would become arguably one of the greatest cloud providers.
Michael Peppertech, that's a great question.
Let's see what's the question. Why aren't they required to notify their customers? You granted permission to the original company, but what after they make the change? It could be the same thing with Instagram and Facebook. Like it's fine that you could say that. You could theoretically, they could come out and say something to the effect of, well, we're going to carve them off and leave them over there. There's no data is going to cross over like this. We'll make sure that you have all of these, the checks and balances in place to make sure that those things don't happen. In some instances, they actually have to have that from a regulatory perspective. The GDPR, the California Consumer Privacy Act, the new CPRA that just passed in November in California. If Salesforce were to buy, people like Tableau, or they already bought Tableau, if Salesforce were to acquire Slack. Sorry, I couldn't.
It hasn't gone through yet.
It hasn't gone through yet. So what they would have to do is effectively tell the consumers from Slack somewhere. Now that would be either through like privacy statements on their website. They're probably not going to make it easy for you to find, but they're also
either that or
they're not going to come out and proactively tell you.
Well, after the deal goes through, they'll send you one of those form emails that you get a dozen of every year that says, "We've updated our privacy practices, yada yada yada."
Chanel just
by
said it best.
receipt.
It's update the terms of service. It'll say it right there. The fact that you're
Yeah.
not doing something additional with the data that you collected. And that, so this is where the privacy regulations really are appropriate and really are important, because it's a matter of, let's make it very clear what you're signing up for. The changes
Yeah.
to the terms of service are this. This is
Mhm.
what it means in, for the love of God, plain English. Don't give me, do not give me the
Corporate
attorney
legally.
speak. I don't need that. Tell me what it means to me. It means that if I'm Slack or if I'm Salesforce, it means that Salesforce is going to collect the data in Slack. And if we think it's beneficial for Salesforce and or Slack, they're going to share and use the data in-house with each other. That's what it means. Say that then. Don't say entity 1A under this dash of section 203 is going to do the thing. I don't care about that. Tell me what Salesforce and Slack's going to do with the data. And, and let me make the choice of saying yes or no to those terms of service. And if I say no, give me the ability to then exit the relationship. Yeah.
Or do the nuclear option, completely exit the relationship and delete all of my data, because at some level, fundamentally, it is still my data.
Technically, a lot of regulations that are out there, if you read them, there's usually clauses in there from the regulators at the state or federal level that say that if a person opts out of sharing or opts out of something like what Salesforce and Slack would do, they actually cannot impact you as a consumer from an experience perspective, which means it tells me that if you say, no, you can't share my data and do the thing, they can't come back and say, well, you can't have my product. They can't do that. That's actually against a regulation. Now, it depends. It depends if that's how it would go. That's all conjecture at that point. But that's why these data privacy regulations are such a big deal, because they are trying to stop companies from doing what we just described. So, little data privacy, lay it on you right there. Kathleen says, I think I'm okay with companies having my data. I like getting served ads. I can't tell if that's sarcasm or if that's real.
I'd say 50-50 either way.
I don't know. Salesforce just needs to buy Dun & Brad. I'm assuming D&B. I'm assuming you mean Dun and yeah. I'm assuming you mean Dun & Bradstreet, and then they
not Dave & Buster's.
Not Dave & Buster's. I'm assuming you mean Dun & Bradstreet, which is a huge data aggregator, and then they own all the business data. Yeah. Don't worry. I'm sure that's coming. Now D&B will not do that. I'm positive that they will never do that. But yeah, hey, I could be wrong. Amazon Prime, where you pay for videos that still serve 5 minutes of ads in a 29-minute shoe. True story.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos needs another $100 million yacht somewhere.
Ton of question about foreign entities are able to purchase access to this data. That's a lot of written into regulation too. Foreign entities are also most likely, there's a ton of data privacy regulations that are in different countries. The UK obviously has the GDPR and things like that. I think we actually had something that was on ours today. Was it Spain or was it Brazil? It was Brazil that had a new data privacy regulation that was out there. I got to be honest with you. I did not think that data privacy was going to get as many comments. We talk about all this other bull crap before, but everyone's like, I don't really care about that. But data privacy is like, bam.
We have a bunch of
great. I love
nerds
it. Look, I love data privacy. You want to talk about data privacy? I will talk about it until the cows come home. I wonder how often or little people cancel accounts due to acquisitions. I would bet you it's less than 5%. I bet you it's less than 5% because they don't feel an impact or care about the impact. Right. That's why I was like, people click all the boxes way too often. And that's because the regulations allow them to. A lot of the regulations are written in a way to where if you put a privacy update on your website and make it easy to get to, more often than not, that actually meets the requirement of the regulation to say, you made that available. It's not my fault that the consumer didn't read it.
Yeah. It's
Right or wrong,
unfortunate that
right or wrong. And
It's
for businesses, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Mike Stroll, I'm here for the hot dogs. And you, sir, shall be here for the hot dogs because our hot dog sandwiches. Look, I got to be honest with you. Hot dogs are not sandwiches. But I know people who say hot dogs are sandwiches. Because the logic is this. What do you call a piece of meat between two buns? Well, some would call it a hamburger. Some would call it a sandwich. Well, a hot dog is between two buns or two pieces of bread. But I digress to the point. I can't say I digress. I'm still on it. A hot dog bun is connected.
Yeah.
It's connected. The answer is a hot dog is a hot dog. It's not a sandwich.
I would say, and I can't take full credit for this. I did see it on social media somewhere. I would say a hot dog is more closely related to a taco than it is to a
Oh my God, what is wrong with
style
you?
sandwich.
It's closely related to a taco?
Well, think about it. A
taco is
hard
a
shell
taco. A
hard
taco is
shell
a taco.
taco.
But it's a hard shell.
Closed on the bottom, open on the top.
But it's
side,
a hard
same
shell.
like a hot dog bun.
It's a
Same like
hard
hot
shell.
dog bun.
No. A hot dog bun's not hard.
All right, so how about a soft shell taco with a warm tortilla?
It's two different styles of bread.
They're both made out of flour.
It's two different styles of bread. A sub is a sandwich and the bun is connected. A sub is a sub. A sub is a hoagie. Well, a hoagie's a hoagie. That's not a sub. A sub is not a sandwich. A sub is a sub. I guess they're called sub sandwiches, though, to be fair.
I want
submarine
Mike Stroll's opinion,
sandwich.
because Mike Stroll is the only chef that I know of that we have in the chat. So I think
that's
his
a true
opinion
story. He is a chef.
His opinion's going to matter here.
No, I will fight to the death on this. A hot dog is a hot dog. As a hamburger is a hamburger. I would say I actually believe a hamburger is not a sandwich. A hamburger and a cheeseburger is not a sandwich. They're hamburgers.
Because it's specific to the type of meat that's inside it.
Well, it's not specific to the type of meat, but you're saying like, I know a sub is short for submarine sandwich. I get it, Chanel. I get it. Submarine. All of you just shut up. Shut your holes. Here we go. Peachy tilt warning. Yep, you're right. I'm getting close. We're getting right. It's always right at the surface. I'm telling you right now, a sub is more of a sandwich than a hot dog is a sandwich, and a hamburger is a hamburger. It's not a sandwich. I don't go in. See, Adam, I think it's saying the same thing. It's not. It's a burger. It's a burger. It's not a sandwich. I don't go in and say I want a hamburger sandwich. That would be stupid.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
You know what I want to do? I want to go to Five Guys to get a what? You get a burger at Five Guys. What do you do when you go to In-N-Out? What do you go when you go to In-N-Out? You get a burger. You don't get a burger sandwich.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a good point. I think that right there is the best way to explain it is how do you order said item? I want a roast beef sandwich, or I want a hamburger.
Yeah, I want a hamburger. I want a cheeseburger. I don't go to a place like Five Guys, In-N-Out, insert Sonic. What's another one?
Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King.
What are they like a Whataburger or whatever it's called? Whataburger. That's what it's like. Is that what Mark Wahlberg owns?
Well, that's Wahlburgers.
Wahlberg, right. I don't go in and go
Shake Shack and
God. You know what sounds really good? I'm gonna go in and have a Mark Wahlberger sandwich. No, it's not a sandwich. It's a burger. From Google, when it's served in a roll, it's also a sandwich. We know the idea that a hot dog is a sandwich is hearsay to some of you. Is that what Google says? Is that true?
Yeah, I'll take Michael Pepper's word for it.
What about a hot dog on a burger?
I've done that. Split a hot dog down the middle, slap it on top of a burger with some cheese and some other stuff between two buns.
That's not a hot dog anymore. It's
not just a burger.
It's not a hot dog. It's not a burger. It's delicious.
It's called the
It's
meat
del-
sweats.
it's delicious. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it sounds amazing, but but given the definition of a sandwich is 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between. Look, a hot dog. Here's, oh, man, I'm starting to get agitated.
See, I'm coming more to your side because
That is a hot dog is a hot dog.
Say you have a bratwurst or some other type of sausage that wouldn't normally be called a hot dog. It's a sausage roll, or it's a, just give me a bratwurst.
Yeah, you want a bratwurst. It's
bratwurst sandwich. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
It's not a sandwich. It's like the hot dog is the bread is just the thing by which it's served on, right?
Yeah,
it's just the vessel by which the thing. Somebody's going to take this out of context, but I don't care. The bread is the vessel by which it enters my mouth. Okay, I mean that's the truth.
There you go, Larry.
There you go, Larry. Mark it down. What's the timestamp? 1:05 and 50 seconds or so. The bread is the vessel by which it enters into my mouth, right? So I order a hamburger. A hamburger is the thing that I want to eat, right? Mm-hmm. The bread just being a part of it is just the thing. But then if I want a sub, I know it stands for submarine sandwich, but I don't really I order a sub. I don't think about it. I want like a Jimmy John's. So here's the thing. Jimmy John's is actually called gourmet sandwiches. If you look it up, it says Jimmy John's gourmet sandwiches.
Yeah, but I think it also says like subs freaky fast or something. Oh. So they blur the lines a little bit.
Okay. So then you have hamburgers they're standalone. A Big Mac is a standalone, arguably.
Yeah.
I mean, we're to the point now. What?
A Whopper.
A Whopper is a burger. It's kind of standalone as well. I need a quarter pounder with cheese. I need a Dave's #1 single. I think we're to the point now where sandwich isn't it's kind of old school. Like I'm beyond sandwich at this point. I need the thing. I want a Dave's classic.
If one of your kids comes inside and says, "Hey mom, I'd like a ham and cheese." She's going to know that they mean ham and cheese sandwich. You don't have to say the word sandwich anymore. So I vote we make this argument null and void and just call things what they actually are.
They are. They're a hot dog. It's again, the bread is by which a vessel enters my gullet. That's what it is. That's what it is. A hot dog is a hot dog regardless of a bun. I kind of disagree with that. The hot
dog itself is
a hot dog. It's pork.
You
have a pork. You have a pork bun. Right. If you take we're just listing at this point. We are, Kathleen. We're just listing very sandwich-esque foods, right? If you take a hot dog, the pork link,
right?
Let's just call it pork. I know they make it in others, and you cut it and you put it on wheat bread. You have a pork sandwich. It happens to be in the shape of split hot dog, but you have a pork sandwich or whatever the meat from a hot dog is, a mixture of pork. You have a pork sandwich, but if you have a hot dog and you wrap the hot dog with a piece of bread, you have a hot dog.
Well, there's a reason it's also called a hot dog bun.
Right.
It's not called a sandwich bun. It's a hot dog bun.
Bam. Stats laying down the facts right here. Webster's definition says a hot dog is a sandwich too. What do they know?
And they don't know anything.
They don't know anything. And Adam, why did you show up for this chicanery? You always show up like right at the tail end when I'm getting ready to do something where we're going to talk about sandwiches. So what I'm seeing is you only know to show up when there's food involved. That's what I'm
either
hearing.
That or he's really here the whole time, but he just comments when he knows he's going to poke at you.
What if you rolled ground beef into a cylinder shape and put it in a hot dog bun? What would you call that?
There are videos out there about this where people have made basically a burger recipe and then stuffed it in a sausage casing and then done the opposite, taken a hot dog blend and made it into a patty, much like the sausage bacon that we had at your house couple of weeks ago when you made those breakfast sandwiches. So people are playing with, but again, if you're ordering a burger, you don't have to say what type of bread it's going to come on. People know. If you're ordering a hot dog, people know to put it on a hot dog bun. So
I'm leaving. I can't listen to you. Here you go. I can't listen to you talk about different vehicles for getting meat into your colon. Wow. Hey,
by the time it gets to my colon, I'm not worried about it anymore.
Wow. Seems aggressive. I'm just telling you, I believe hamburgers are hamburgers, hot dogs are hot dogs. A sub is a sub. I order a roast beef sandwich.
And they're all delicious.
And I'm hungry.
Yeah. Go get some apple pie and sharp cheddar cheese.
I don't have any of those things, and I'm not going to the store. It's 9:15 almost on the East Coast. I ate look, I'll straight admit, like last night I had at 11 o'clock, I had 2 chocolate chip waffles with peanut butter on them. And my belly was like, it's not good. It was a terrible mix. I'm done. Like, I shouldn't eat. I'm going to go upstairs and probably eat. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm done. Stats. Where can they find you?
I am at Helix Heinlein on the tweet machine and at Country Smith on the Instagram.
Oh, are you back on those things now?
Yeah, I'm back at least until Christmas.
I knew it. You couldn't stay away. You can find me at Twitter at Scott Peachy and on Instagram at the Scott Peachy for now. Although I got to be honest with you, Instagram sucks with the new layout. Sucks.
Yeah, it took me.
Good God,
it took me longer than I care to admit on how to actually post something today from inside the app.
Yeah, I don't know if I need to go to the middle where I buy crap that I don't need, or if I go to the upper right-hand corner, figure out that the plus sign is now 2 icons over. Instagram, what are you doing? Let me post a picture. Awful. Let me post a picture of my dog's OnlyFans. Because if you go check my Instagram, that's the thing.
That was good today.
That was the thing. Go check it. Just make it easier for me to share something that no one cares about. Please. Anyway, so that's it. That's all I got. Next week, we're going to have Scotty Boombacks on. I put that out there, so he has to be there now. If anybody else wants to show up, let me know. Kathleen, why don't you come on the show? Put it out there.
I mean, she owns the internet.
You own the internet now. I have bequeathed you with that. Controller of the internet. If you show up, I will give you a crown. I have one sitting right over there.
Yeah, you've got one.
I will. All right, y'all. Be good or be good at it. We will see you next week. All right, y'all.
Sounds good.
Bye.